Hello folks, this is Solo speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. Well, this is taken from a ranked game, and this one's going to be something a little bit different. This time we're going to be looking at a Poppy game. Yes, a Poppy game, a rather ridiculous Poppy game as well. So this is taken from the very end of the long-running patch that we were on all throughout the winter holidays of 2022 and into the beginning of 2023. By the time this video gets posted on YouTube, we should have the new patch out, which is apparently going to have like 100 different changes. I believe that every single champion in the game is getting altered in some way, except like 2 of them, something like that. So it'll just be a completely different game. But this was the final days of when Yumi walked the earth and Jax was an unstoppable menace. So people are still playing that in this game. It makes sense. It's a ranked game. People are going to play what they perceive as strong. And Yumi mascot reroll and Jax brawlers were kind of emerged as the dominant comps. Although the other one that popped up was duelists at the end of this patch, and there's not really a lot of duelists in this game for just whatever reason. It turned out that this lobby didn't have a lot of duelists, but okay. Anyway, though, so we're going to be featuring Poppy in this game. Now, you might say, wait a minute, Poppy, the 1-cost Gadgeteam plus Defender unit, that's the featured unit in this particular game? Ah, yes. And that is because sometimes even units that are not very popular and basically no one is playing can turn out to be pretty strong if all the pieces come together properly. By the way, I actually have a Poppy in my store there that I do not end up purchasing. I remember this because I was playing, I was like, why couldn't I have gotten the gold drop on that round? So you're always guaranteed to get gold to drop in any, you're always going to guarantee to get at least 1 gold drop on one of the minion rounds. But it's always advantageous to get the gold drops earlier on 1-2 or 1-3 so that you can just buy up the shop and have more options. It's better to get the gold first and then the items later. And I remember being annoyed because I was like, I could have had Poppy 2-star, Lulu 2-star right there if the gold had just dropped 1 round earlier, and that would have been much better. But I will pick up the 2 Poppies and the 2 Lulus here, and I'm hoping to go into Gadgeteam. I'm hoping to find an Annie right now because that would be kind of a standard Gadgeteam opener. Instead, though, I get this. I was like, Galio and the Gangplank and the Blitz. I was like, well, I do have the Get Paid Gangplank augment, so I could potentially look to go into Duelist. I was like looking around there. I was like, a lot of people look like they might be playing into these units. I don't think I want to do that. So I'm going to reroll, and I was like, all right, there's a Poppy augment here. I don't really know what to do with Poppy, but this does give me a Poppy 2-star, so let's just pick this up and we'll figure out what we can do with it later. By the way, I also have the makings of a potential underground opener here because I do have 2-star Kale and I have an Ezreal, but I've got Poppy. Normally, if you're going to play an underground opener, what you would do is you would want to be running Vi, and you play Brawler frontline. Instead, I have Defender frontline, and I have Poppy's Carry Augment. And I mostly took this because I wanted to get the Poppy 2-star. It's the main reason why I took this, but I was like, you know what? Okay, maybe we can work around this. Maybe we can play Defender frontline for the time being. So I've highlighted it a couple times here, but I will just give you the formal description for Poppy's Carry Augment. I bet most people watching this are not familiar with what Poppy's Carry Augment is, because this is a 1-cost unit that no one is playing. It's called Bigger, Better Buckler, and it gives you a Poppy, and she gains 200 armor. So that's it. Poppy gains 200 armor. Obviously, this makes her vastly more tanky. But in addition, by the way, I could have had Underground in if I'd played Vi here. But nope, I'm not big on playing Underground. I think it's pretty risky. Not something I want to risk in a ranked game. But anyway, back to Poppy, as I said. So Poppy's Carry Augment gives her 200 additional armor. 200 additional armor. So this makes her very, very tanky when it comes to dealing with physical damage. And of course, she has the Defender trait, which is going to give her more additional armor on top of that. I think it's worthwhile just for me to read the description of what Poppy's ability does, because, as I've said, no one plays Poppy in this set. She's a totally, just a completely ignored unit outside of early game Gadgeteam boards, and then she gets dropped very quickly. Okay, so her traits are Defender and Gadgeteam. Her ability is called Buckler Toss. Costs 80 mana. Poppy throws her buckler at the farthest enemy, deals percentage of her armor as magic damage. The buckler then bounces back, granting Poppy a shield that blocks damage for 3 seconds. Right now, she is a 2-star unit, so it is 250% of her armor is the damage on the shield toss. So you can hopefully start to see why giving her additional armor would actually make her into somewhat of a carry unit. By getting more armor, it causes an increase in her shield toss damage, because her shield toss damage scales off of maximum armor. Although I've also found another Poppy in the store, so I was like, all right, well, I'll just hold this for the moment. I have a very outside chance of getting Poppy 3-star, but even if I don't get Poppy 3-star, what I could always do is I could always just maybe make another 2-star Poppy, and then I could just put early game items on Poppy for right now, then sell the Poppy later, and then move those items over to another unit long term. So anyway, yeah, you can see I'm going through here and looking at what other units other people have. Anyway, though, so as I said, Poppy will, when her mana bar fills up, she's going to throw her shield at the furthest target. So she's usually going to throw it at a backline unit, and then it will bounce back and give her a shield. The shield is a flat amount. It does not scale, but so like right now it's a flat 300. But the damage from her armor amount does scale. So she increases the amount of damage the shield toss does as her armor goes up. And it actually can be pretty significant. She's already doing 700 damage with her shield toss on backline units. That's pretty substantial. Like, it's more than you would expect to have happen, that she would be tossing the shield and hitting people in the backline for 700 damage. Kind of gives me backline access in this comp in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise. I've actually win streaked all 3 rounds so far. Now, I was really hoping that the Jax would still be there, because if I pick up the Jax, that would give me a Sunfire Cape on Poppy, which is very good in this meta where people are rerolling mascots. And of course, it's also more armor. Like, it would also just give her additional armor. So unfortunately, that I do not hit. But, and I'm forced to take a glove. I have no choice. I was like, all right, well, go ahead and make Last Whisper here. I don't know if this item's amazing, but I can at least make use of it. So anyway, I am going to find a Zoe in the store. So I will play the Lulu, and I'll also put in the Zoe, and that puts Gadgettine in. Normally you get Gadgettine in by playing Annie, but this is another way to get it in. Poppy plus Lulu plus Zoe. We'll get that. And I've gotten a Gadgettine Rapid Fire Cannon, so I'm going to put that on Kale. And Kale is kind of like our damage carry for the moment. She's actually going to do reasonably good damage with a Last Whisper and a Rapid Fire Cannon. It's unfortunate I don't have another Duelist unit in here to pair with her. I had a Sivir that I was playing before just to get the Civilian trait, but Sivir, of course, does not have the Duelist trait. So yeah, anyway, we're hanging in there. Poppy, can she get off one more shield test? All right, she one-shots the Sona in the backline, or actually 2 shots, I think. I think that was the second time she had tossed at Sona. But Zoe's going to get off one last bubble before she dies. And okay, yeah, we're kind of win streaking with this really weird board. And I'm also up to 5 Poppies. So, all right, that's a thing, I suppose. One way to play this is just to keep building that strong front line and then just get damage dealers behind it. One thing I have done, though, by making the Last Whisper is I've kind of committed myself to playing an AD comp. Like, I can't really play an AP comp with this particular setup now that I've made the Last Whisper. But I think that was still the best thing I could do. I had no choice but to take a glove. Every other item was taken. There were 2 gloves left over on that carousel. And even though I would have preferred to keep my options open, I want to make use of that item. So it's like, okay, we do have a 2-star Kale. Last Whisper is pretty decent on Kale. Let's try to play into this. I'm disappointed I haven't found any other Duelist units, as already mentioned. Okay, so we're up against this person here, and unfortunately, this person has the Lux Support Augment, which gives a shield to the units that she is near in the fight. So unfortunately, Poppy's Shield Toss does not kill the LeBlanc, it just damages her shield. And we also run up against another weakness. Oh, by the way, Annie getting off another cast thanks to her Ox Force. Pretty bad for us here. So we are going to end up losing that round. And one of the weaknesses of my setup is that I am not as strong against magic damage as against physical damage. I'm running Defender trait, which grants armor, but that does not do anything against magic damage, and that comp was all magic damage. So overall, it was still a very good Stage 2. We did win 4 of the 5 rounds. It's just a little unfortunate I wasn't able to keep the win streak going. And then look at this. We get a Vayne in the shop, and we also get another Poppy. I have 6 Poppies already. I was like, okay, so 3-star Poppy starting to look a little bit more doable because we already have 6. I'm not going to go out of my way to reroll for it, but I mean, I'm going to keep grabbing them and just see what the heck happens anyway. I've also found a Riven here, and then, oh, I get a Tome of Traits here. Okay, well, that's interesting. Tome of Traits, Can I, and I could also sell a unit to get to 20. I should sell the Sivir to get to 20 here. Do I remember to do that? Looks like I do not, and I stay on the 19 gold. I should have sold the Sivir here because I'm not playing short shot on this board. Oh well. But I've got the Tome of Traits, and I was like, you know, if I could pull Defender out of this, I do have a Recon emblem as well. I could potentially go into heavy Recon. I was like, you know what? Let's grab the Defender emblem. This will let us play 4 Defenders. I can just put in the Riven, and then that's 4 Defenders. Which is going to make me very tanky. So, yeah, okay, for right now, I'll just slap that on Lulu, and then we'll level and put in the Riven. But I don't quite want to drop all the way down. I think I'd have to drop down to like 9 gold, and I don't want to do that. I also have a bow and a tier, and I was like, well, that could be Static Shiv. That's not an especially good Vayne item, but I was like, well, what if I look to just play into Vayne and Kai'Sa? Could play Vayne plus Kai'Sa backline, and then maybe play Defender frontline. I'm thinking out loud here. Like, no one plays Defender frontline. Like, this is like one of the front lines that just no one does. I'm helpfully highlighting it. Defender is the trait that gives you additional armor, and in the current meta, it is just like non-existent. It is not a trait. No one plays Defenders in the current metagame. They're perceived as being extremely weak. So this might be an opportunity to take advantage of the fact that people don't play this. I have Poppy. She has this carry augment. She's going to scale off of getting more armor. And out of these options here, I was like, Duelist Heart? No. Duelist Heart is amazing, but I think I'm already committed to the setup I have here. I don't think I'm going to go into heavy Duelist from this point on. So I guess out of these options, it's probably just Celestial Blessing. Ludens, I don't think I cast quite enough to make that useful. So, okay, we'll just get some basic healing in our board. All right, so I'm going to level, and then I'm going to put in the Riven, and it's like, boom. Now we've got 4 Defenders on our board in this very wonky, weird board that we're running here. And then I'll go ahead and make the Static Shiv on the Kayle for right now. But I will pick up these Ashes because I would like to go into Recon. And I will finally sell the Sivir because it does not look like I'm going to go into Sure Shot from here. I can also move out of the Lulu because I'm not playing Gadgettine right now. And I decide, you know what? We're just going to move away from the Gadgettine. We're going to lean into this Recon plus Defender setup. And we're going to try to find Kai'Sa. If we can find Kai'Sa, I can sell the Kayle, move the items off Kayle, move them over to the Vayne. So what do we have here? We have 4 Defenders. Like I said, this is not a build that basically anyone plays. What does the Defender trait do? It gives your team armor. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough against this Jax board here, largely because this person already has 2-star Jax with good Jax itemization and Thrill of the Hunt. I actually think I might win this fight if they didn't have Thrill of the Hunt augments, but with Jax being able to heal off every kill, that's not something that's going to happen. All right, so I'm going to lose that round, but I still think my board is starting to come together in a pretty good way. Okay, we basically have a blank round this time, so let's go ahead and read the official description for Defenders. All right, as I said, frontline trait no one's playing right now. Everybody's playing mascots or brawlers or occasionally, and Aegis. Those are the other three frontline traits, but no one's playing Defenders. Anyway, your team gains bonus armor. Defenders gain more. So Defender 2, 30 armor for the team, 60 armor for Defenders. Right now we have Defender 4 in. That's 80 armor for the whole team, 150 armor for Defenders. So Poppy is getting 200 armor from her carry augment, and then another 150 from Defender 4. So she has like 350 armor right now, something like that, which is why her shield toss is doing so much damage. Defenders also innately taunt enemies nearby at the start of combat, which means enemies that are able and in range must attack the taunter. So that is another big benefit to this trait. Again, I'm not sure people are even aware of that because no one, I keep saying this, but no one is playing Defenders in this set. And it is a frontline trait, and it is something that's very good against physical damage, but of course all that armor does not help very much against magic damage. Anyway, so here I had the chance to, well, pick last again. I could look to get more items for a future Vayne, so that would not be terrible. But the item I most want is that vest that's on the Vel'Koz. I really would like to make Sunfire Cape for Poppy. It'll make her much tankier. I'll get the heal debuff. And is everyone going to take it? No, they are not. Excellent, excellent. So I'm going to take this. This will also slightly increase the damage Poppy is doing with her shield toss because she does scale off of the amount of armor that she has. But mostly it's because it'll get me that that burn effect. So the shield toss is doing 1,020 damage. I know I highlighted that quickly, Again, I wish we had real replays and not just me recording footage while playing the game. But her shield toss is now doing 1,000 damage. That's an awful lot of damage. And granted, that is a situation that is magic damage. It's not true damage. It can be mitigated by magic resistance on the enemy team, but it's still an awful lot of damage. I was also looking at Mech Prime. Oh wait, well before we get to that point, watch Poppy in this fight. So this person is playing a Yuumi in the back lines, and boop! They just one-shot the Yuumi just like that. Okay, so I guess this is one way to deal with Yuumi mascot reroll. That Poppy just throws the shield and instantly one-shots the Yuumi because she just does that much damage and she always targets the unit that is furthest away. So yeah, we actually just tear right through that person's board. Okay, that works. Probably the funniest way to deal with mascot reroll is what I've got right here. So the biggest issue right now is this person Echo Sense in the lobby. They are running a 6 brawlers board, and they already have 2-star jacks. They're the person I lost to earlier. All right, now I also do find a Kai'Sa here, so that's pretty nice. I can look to play Kai'Sa. I could also just get a move out of the Kale, potentially, but I think I want to wait until I have a 2-star on one of these other units to do that. So we'll just hang in there for right now and see what we can put together. I do wonder what would have happened if I had chosen to take the Recon emblem instead of the Defender emblem. In the long run, that might have been better, because then I could have played 4 Recon. I could have turned, one of my favorite units to turn into a Recon is Misfortune. Could have, turned Misfortune into a Recon, and that would have given me a little more damage. But I'm still pretty happy with the 4 Defenders right here, and it actually opens up the possibility to play 6 Defenders. And at this point, I was definitely thinking of going in that direction as Poppy assassinates another backline unit with her shield toss. I was like, you know what? We're playing Defenders this game. Let's just go the full 6 Defenders. We've got the Tome of Traits. We can just play 5 Defenders plus the item that we pulled, plus the Tome of Traits that we pulled. We'll just play the full 6 Defenders. There are only 5 Defenders in the game, so you normally cannot play 6 Defenders. You need to have an emblem for that. So you know what? We'll use the emblem. We'll play the full 6 Defenders, and that should be that should be a lot of fun. Just to see how ridiculous this can get. So I'm going to need to find, who am I missing? I'm missing Rel, somewhat surprisingly, and then I also need to find Set. And if I play both of them, I can go level 8, play both of them, and then we'll play maybe 3 Recon in our back line. We can play Vayne plus Kai'Sa, and then I guess Ezreal, so we can have 3 Recon, because 3 Recon gives the huge increase in crit chance, and then that'll be our board, and we'll see if we can see what we can hit and go from there. All right, anyway, so I'm going to get, oh, look at this. I'm going to get another vest. That's quite good. So I'm happy to pick that up. And I'll just go ahead and toss in the Zac. I'm going to put the Defender emblem on Zac for right now. And then we can put in Kai'Sa. And so I can just make Zac like my +1 Defender. And now I'm going to roll a little bit. I'm up to 7 poppies. Okay. All right. And then I'll go ahead and, oh my god, 8 poppies? Are you kidding me? Okay. And there's a Set, so that's looking pretty good. So now we can actually play 6 Defenders on level 8. We can go, yeah, on level 8 we can just play the 6 Defenders. Or, yeah, because I would have to take out, well, I would have to take out Kale, but that's fine. I don't need Kale in this board. I could also look to put the Recon emblem on, or the Defender emblem on one of my Recon units. And then I'd be able to run 3 Recon plus 6 Defenders. I could just have someone hold the item there. All right, well, the 4 Defenders are holding up reasonably well. Can they just hold up for a few seconds longer? Zac as a Defender is pretty hilarious. Makes pretty good use of this item. And there we go. We're going to be able to deal some additional damage to that person. And yeah, we're looking pretty solid here. So we get the opportunity to go for our last thing. And I was like, oh, Cybernetic Shell, Cybernetic Uplink. What if we just try to pull another Defender emblem? Because that would give us more additional slots on our team. And I was like, oh, it's actually there. So we can now play 6 Defenders, not at level 8. Now we can actually play this on level 7. So as long as I'm willing to put the Defender emblem on a different unit. Oh, by the way, I actually do make a mistake here. I'm going to put the Static Shiv on Kai'Sa. I'm going to put the Last Whisper on Vayne. But I believe that I accidentally sell the Zac, and I don't need to do that here. I just need to put the Defender emblem on someone else. So I'm looking around here, and I was like, I'll put this on Kai'Sa. There we go. So what I should do now is I should take out the Rel and just play Set over Rel. But I have actually gotten up to 6 defenders. I believe I accidentally sell the Zac, and I don't think I needed to do that here. Yeah, so anyway, this is 6 defenders. Now, Kaisa is not really going to make very good use of the defender emblem, which is a backline unit, but I just wanted to get 6 defenders in on level 7, and it's like that might be a little bit weaker in the extreme long run, but it's going to be insanely strong in the short run to be at 6 defenders. So I'm highlighting it in-game. Defender 6 is 200 armor for everyone and 400 for defenders. So Poppy is now getting 200 armor from her carry augment, and 400 armor from having 6 defenders in. Oh, actually, this is what I did. I decided to move this from Zac over to Echo so I could get Star Guardians in, and I actually do think that was the right call. So that was why I was not playing Set, is because I wanted to have Star Guardian in, but I probably should have been looking to replace Wukong with Set because he's just a much better unit than the Wukong. So yeah, we have 6 defender, 3 Star Guardian, and 2 Recon. What a weird board we are playing here. On the plus side, though, Poppy having 600 armor means that her shield toss actually does an awful lot of damage when she targets the backline. So she should target the LeBlanc here in this fight. Does she have enough damage to one-shot the LeBlanc when she tosses this thing? Yes, she does. 1,400 damage. She just instantly one-shots the LeBlanc in the backlines. That is hilarious stuff. So this is the person who's been really strong throughout the game. This is the person who beat us with the 2-star Jacks because they had the Thrill of the Hunt and they had the 2-star Jacks. Well, you know what? It turns out that now that I have 600 armor on Poppy, Jack's not doing so much. I mean, he's very slowly making his way through, but by the time he cuts through my team, it's not enough. Look at, by the way, I also need to point this out. Watch the damage bars after the fights. I wish that I could pause this. So on the damage bars, you get the little colored indicators of how much damage people on both teams have done. It's red for physical damage, blue for magic damage, white for true damage. Well, as it turns out, my team has so much armor that people just don't do any physical damage to me whatsoever. So those little bars are like entirely either blue or white. Blue for magic damage, white for true damage. But they're mostly blue for magic damage. And again, that's just because you can't hurt my team with physical damage. Everyone has 200 bonus armor. 200 bonus armor reduces physical damage by 2/3, and the defenders have 400. So that reduces the damage by what, like I think it's 75%. And then Poppy has almost 700 armor, so she takes like, her buckler toss is doing 1,600 damage, but she takes like 12% damage, 13% damage from physical. It's reduced by like 86%. It's just insane. She just doesn't take physical damage at all. So she really can only be hurt by magic damage. Anyway, so this time I'm up against this person, and this is the person who I one-shotted their Yuumi in the back row the last time I hit them. So Poppy is going to get the shield toss, but does like 80% of Yumi's health. I actually think we win that fight if she manages to finish off the Yuumi, but no, not quite enough. I'm actually not quite sure what happened to this person because in like the 5 rounds since we last hit this person, they went from 2 Yuumis to 9 Yuumis, and they're still on max gold. They didn't even have to roll down to like 10 gold or something, so I'm not exactly sure how that happened, but apparently they just had an insane run of hitting Yuumis. Like, they don't appear to have, by the way, I'm also chatting with Grillo here, but they don't appear to have, like, loaded dice or something like that. Anyway, though, I get lucky as well. I'm going to hit the 3-star Poppy. I did not have to roll for this, so, oh boy, now Poppy is in the house. Poppy's doing real damage now, because her damage on the shield toss actually goes up by a lot when she hits 3-star. The damage percent of armor is damage. It's 250% at 2-star, but 375 at 3-star. So her damage went up by 50%. And as we saw, she was already one-shotting people in some of these fights. It's a little bit of a shame that I didn't have this unit for the last fight. I would have just one-shotted the Yuumi in the back row. But let's watch the shield toss. Who's she going to focus? She's going to focus Vel'Koz. Okay, 1,800 damage. Vel'Koz dead instantly. And this board looks like it's mostly physical damage. Now, they do actually have a Last Whisperer, so that is something that can shred through the armor. But still, just one-shots the Sivir. Still, this board is mostly physical damage, so they can't really do anything. Senna did 2,000 damage because she had a Last Whisperer. If she had no Last Whisperer, she would have done like 500 damage. So yeah, we are basically invincible against teams like this. They cannot get through the armor. And again, no one plays defender in this meta. Like, no one is playing defender units. So that means people are not building Last Whisper. It's not that popular of an item. I see it on Zed, but usually, not, and sometimes on Vayne, but it's still generally not that popular of an item. So people generally don't build Last Whisper because people don't don't run defender units, so they don't have to punch through armor. That means anyone dealing physical damage in this lobby is completely screwed. They just will never be able to kill my team because we have so much armor. And meanwhile, I am just going to try to go for... well, actually, I needed to make the decision. Do I go for... I have an anvil here I'm going to pull, and I was like, oh, perfect. We'll just go ahead and make a Wormwogs for Poppy here. Also, could have gone for the Dragon's Claw. Also would have been a possibility, but I thought the extra health would be a little bit more useful here. Okay, so I have a decision to make. I do want to go to level 8, and I want to put in the Ezreal so that I can... I want to put in the Ezreal so I can get Recon 3. That's going to be really good with the Infinity Edge. The Infinity Edge on Vayne lets her damage crit. And so now she has 75% increased crit chance. So that's going to be very, very effective on her. So I'm pretty happy with getting Recon 3 in. It's a shame, again, shame I don't have Recon 4. Turned out I actually did not need to pull a Defender emblem from that first Tome of Traits, because I actually ended up getting a second Tome of Traits. But I could not have known at the time I was going to get a second Tome of Traits. So with the information I had at the time, I think it was the right decision. Anyway, though, so... as I said, I have Recon 3 in now, so Vayne's going to do a lot of damage. The big question is, do I try to go to level 9 and then play Legendary units, or do I stay at level 8, try to slow roll for 3-star Vayne and 3-star Kai'Sa? That was really the question that I needed to decide before I went any further. Again, Jax just... He's got really good items, but he cannot get through Poppy, and that person's out of the lobby. Kind of unlucky for them. Not the matchup they wanted, but they're just done for. Okay, so I needed to stop and think about what I wanted to do, and I think I took a moment to look around the lobby. I believe I looked around the lobby earlier just to see, and based on what I saw, this is a very heavy reroll lobby. People are not looking to push levels. People are rerolling and rerolling and rerolling. People are rerolling for mascots. People are rerolling for brawlers. And I just decided, you know what, there's so many 3 costs out of the pool. Like, that person already has 2-star, that person has 3-star Jax that we're hitting right here. The decision was there's so many 3 costs out of the pool. I have very good odds to 3-star Vayne and Kai'Sa. And my best chance of winning the game is to 3-star Vayne and Kai'Sa. I think I do better by doing that than I do by trying to go to level 9 and looking to play into legendaries. There's probably not enough time left in the game for me to get to level 9 and 2-star a bunch of legendary units. Plus, there's no 5-quest defenders, so that also means there's not as much of an incentive to go there. All right, well, I was wondering, do we have enough to kill the Jax? It looks like we do not have quite enough to kill 3-star Jax. Again, multiple people running Jax in this lobby. I knocked out one person running Jax. This person apparently has hit the Jax 3-star. Tough to beat Jax with those items. They have the Titans, they have the Rage Blade, and they have the Bloodthirster. As I said, difficult to beat them with those items. So I'm also rolling to try to get Set 2-star. That would be nice, and Ezreal 2-star. Most of my board is 2-starred. What I should probably do is just sell the Wukong and put in Set right now. That's probably the better call. Wukong is not really needed in this board. There's no 8 defender, so it's not like I can get another defender emblem and go up to 8 defender. This is the most I can get, and I should probably just ditch the Wukong. I did have a thought of looking, maybe if I found a Leona, I could look to play the Mech Prime. Like, I could try to do Mech Prime Set, but ultimately I decided that probably was not worth it. I'd have to pull out another unit. I'd have to pull out, like, the Ezreal, and I do like having 3 recon in there. It's kind of like, I feel like my board is tanky enough. I'm not sure that I really need the Mecha Prime. I probably have enough tankiness, so what I really need is more damage. All right, watch Poppy. Boop! Down goes the Senna. There we go. 1,800 damage on the back line. Again, people are just not expecting this to come out from the Poppy, so they are not positioning their units accordingly. Ideally, if you don't want your unit to get popped by Poppy, you would have to put them in the center of the board because she throws at the furthest unit from her position. So yeah, that's not really helping her. Anyway, so it's another carousel. We're down to just 4 in the lobby. And out of the options here, there's a Giant Slayer. And I was like, perfect. This is what I need to deal with these 3-star units. There's so many 3-stars in the lobby. There's a lot of units that have high health. I need this Giant Slayer on Vayne so she can kill like the Jax 3-star, the mascots on the mascot reroll board. And now I need to look to try to find more Vaynes. I do have 5 of them in the lobby. By the way, there's also the option to maybe get Neela on my board. I would really like to get Neela in here because she would like I could potentially, if there was some way to get the Rel off my board and Neela in, that would give me the duelist trait for Vayne, which I would definitely like, but I'm not sure quite what the best way to do that is. And then I roll a little bit more. I do hit Ezreal 2-star, and then I ended up selling the sets. Again, I think this is a mistake. I think I should have kept Set and sold Wukong. And then I decided, I don't see how I get Neela on this board. Let's just go ahead and sell here. All right, this person actually has a really good positioning setup. They use their Zephyr on the Poppy. So this is a positioning fail on my part. I should have spotted that there was someone with Future Sight in the lobby. And I really need Poppy to get that shield toss off. She is apparently not getting the shield toss off. This person does have 2-star Syndra, though. And unfortunately, this person, Syndra, just keeps tossing in more units. And I am not able to punch through that team and take out the backline unit. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but as I said, I was fiddling with my board. I was not paying attention to the future sight. So need to keep that in mind. That player is still in the lobby. If I cycle back around and hit them again, I'm going to have to continue to deal with the future sight. In the meantime, though, I'm up against the person who has 3-star Jax. So that's my challenge right now is can I deal with 3-star Jax? Has the Blitzcrank carry augment, which actually makes Blitzcrank very tanky. And we're going to have to try to work around that. So let's see what happens. I'm just hoping that Jax is going to get stuck on Poppy for a long, long time. That's my best hope here. Anyway, I also need Poppy to kill the Soraka in the back lines. Boop! Down goes Soraka. That's very convenient. That was a strong Soraka. Soraka 2-star with a blue buff. So let's get that unit out of the way. Now can we kill the Sedge before she ults again? Yes. Excellent. Now I have Vayne firing at the Jax. That's what I need. I need to kill the Jax. The other units are basically irrelevant. We just need to kill Jax. Kaisa has gotten the Shred, magic-resistant Shred with her Static Shiv. Jax is going to turn and go after Echo. Remember, Echo still has 400 armor. And is that going to be enough to kill this? Yes, it is. Prankster trait kicks in. And we actually beat the 3-star Jax. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. Also, the Future Sight player is now out of the lobby. Excellent. By the way, there's the extra set I was missing. So I was like, should have sold that Wukong and just played the set instead. I could have had set 2-star. I don't know that it would have made a huge difference, but set 2-star definitely better than Wukong 2-star. So it looks like this is pretty much our board. I'm just hoping that I can hit Vayne 3-star and Kaisa 3-star. I am on 7 Vaynes, 6 Kaisas. Now, Kaisa does still have a dead item slot because she has the Defender emblem. I would love to get that over to Ezreal if I could, but I still do think it was the right decision to put that on her. Oh, by the way, there comes another Vayne out of the minion round. That's a gift. I'll definitely take that. And then a Neela. Again, that's a possibility I could play, I suppose. Could also take out the Ezreal to play Neela, which is also a possibility as well, although I'm not sure if that's better or worse. And then out of these options here, I was like, cool, okay. Well, we can take the Zeke's. That's not quite what I'm looking for, but that's not bad. More attack speed on my backline units here. So we'll roll. Keep looking here. Can we find another Vayne for Vayne 3-star? Can we find another Kaisa? Kind of not hitting here. Come on. Oh, okay, there we go. It took a little more gold than I wanted, but we did manage to hit that. So we can just play this on Ez. And I'm up against the Jax player again, which is kind of interesting. 2 rounds in a row because someone got knocked out. Well, I beat this board when I had Vayne 2-star. Now I have Vayne 3-star. So I think that I probably win this right now. Also have the Zeke's. But I kind of have like the Jax killing setup here. Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Giant Slayer. Like if you ever wanted a setup that's going to be good at taking down very healthy, very high health targets, this is it. And of course, Vayne deals true damage, so she can ignore the armor and magic resistance that Jax has on his Titans. So yeah, feeling pretty good here. We're going to slice right through the front lines. There we go. And yeah, this board just got knocked out. So I flip over to the other round, and it turns out that my Ghost actually beat the other player. I have not seen this player in a long time, the person who is playing the Yuumi reroll, and has kind of hit their whole board at this point. So I was like, all right, well, my Ghost just beat this person. So that's a good sign. can I hit the Kaisa 2-star or 3-star? I'm very close to hitting that. But then I see that they did this. Look at this. They have now moved Gangplank into the back corner. They want Gangplank to take the shield toss. That's some smart positioning. I don't know if that's going to work. But then, oh, they've actually moved Yumi up right behind the front line in the second row. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I can move the Wukong down here to try to take the Yumi first cast. So, oh no, Wukong walks up to the front lines, and Yumi just casts right around that. Takes Vayne down to like 10% health, but at least she doesn't die. And then, the second cast takes down the Vayne on my side. So this fight's very close, but unfortunately Vayne just got popped. If Vayne had survived for like 2 seconds longer, almost. But that positioning on the Yumi is problematic, to be sure. Anyway, we need to try to hit the Kaisa 3-star, maybe with Vayne and Kaisa 3-star. I actually have 2 Neelas here, so I was like, is it better to get Duelist trait in so Vayne just has more total attack speed? I don't know if that's better or not. Like, is it better to drop the Recon for this? Maybe it would be better to drop down to 4 defenders, but no, then Poppy's damage is cut. So I wasn't sure. I was like, all right, I guess I'll go ahead and try this. I think this is actually a little bit worse, but we'll at least give it a try. I'm also going to swap over to the other side. I was on left side before. Let's try right side now. But watch this. Yumi's first cast? Are you freaking kidding me? Seriously? What? So it was like a heat-seeking missile that went completely around every single unit and just one-shot Vayne instantly. I was like, seriously? Okay. So when people are frustrated, were frustrated, because the new patch will be out by the time you watch this, when people were frustrated about Yumi reroll, this is what people were annoyed about, stuff like that. And then, oh, there's a Zephyr on the carousel, but it is right next to them. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll take Edge of Night here. It's a shame now. It's really a shame I just sold the Ezreal because there's a Duelist emblem on that carousel. I could have played the Ezreal and then ditched Neela and just put the Duelist emblem on Kaisa, so that would have been really nice. But I sold the Ezreal, which was a mistake, but oh well. All right, so clearly being in the corners is not going to work. The positioning on the Yumi in dead center means I need to position in the center of the board. So let's go ahead and try this. We'll put these units up on the front lines. Let's put Vayne right behind them. And I misclick and I don't get Kaisa in range of the whatchamacallit, the Zeeks. But then, oh, look at this. The Zephyr goes on Poppy. That's so smart. That's such a smart positioning decision. And unfortunately, because my units have Recon trait, they're going to roll around in the fights, which means, oh, Kaisa, you rolled in the corner, and then Vayne, yep, Yumi just one-shots them. I can't do anything, so that's just GG. Disappointing end to this game. Definitely a little frustrated at Yumi, but still have to give the other player some credit there. They did basically hit everything, and their positioning of the Yumi dead center of their board was exactly correct because Poppy would never target Yumi with the shield, so she was not able to one-shot, and then Yumi just curving those little bolts around. One taps the Vayne, one taps the Kaisa. Nothing I can do about that. Yumi stupidly broken in this patch. Well, good riddance, that's gone now. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this weird game. Until next time, take care, folks. Have a good one.